works as a project manager on the Global Precipitation Measurement Program at NASA in the United States. Mohan came to America for college studies and kept on living there after his parents in India died in an accident. Vinod is Mohan's friend in the US. Mohan keeps worrying about Kaveri Amma, a nanny at his home in Uttar Pradesh, who looked after him during his childhood days. After his parents' death, Kaveri Amma went to live in an old age home in Delhi and eventually lost contact with Mohan. Mohan wishes to go to India and bring Kaveri Amma back with him to the US. Due to recent success of phase 1 of his project, he takes a few weeks off and travels to India. He goes to the old age home but learns that Kaveri Amma no longer lives there and went to a village named Charampur a year ago. Mohan then decides to travel to Charampur in Uttar Pradesh. Mohan decides to rent a recreational vehicle to reach the village, fearing that he might not get the required facilities there. He is misled by a girl he met on the way when he mentions his name. He strays off course, but meets a fakir who offers to take Mohan to Charampur. Upon reaching Charampur, he meets Kaveri Amma and learns how his childhood friend Geeta, the same girl who misled Mohan, who after her parents died, brought Kaveri Amma to stay with her. Geeta runs a school in Charampur and works hard to improve the living conditions of the villagers through education. However, the village is divided largely by caste and religious beliefs. Melaram is an aspiring chef and tries to impress Mohan with his cooking skills so that Mohan takes him to USA with him. He has a dream of opening Indian dhaba on US freeways. Melaram is of scheduled caste. Geeta does not like Mohan's arrival as she thinks that he will take Kaveri Amma back with him to the US, leaving her and her younger brother Chiku alone. Kaveri Amma tells Mohan that she needs to get Geeta married first and that it is her responsibility. Geeta believes in women empowerment and gender equality. This attracts Mohan towards Geeta, and he too tries to help her by campaigning for education among backward communities and also girls. She says no to a prospective match when the groom's family puts a condition that Geeta will not teach at school after the marriage. Mohan thinks problems of India cannot be solved. Geeta says at least she is trying to do something for India, not like Mohan who is working for a foreign nation. Mohan attends the village panchayat where he sees the block dev officer is corrupt and won't finish the electrification work in the village. He accuses the villagers of stealing electricity. Meanwhile, the panchayat wants Geeta to vacate the existing school building and take a smaller building farther away from the village. But Geeta argues to retain the larger building as she wants to enroll more kids. Panchayat gives her 3 months. Panch are Vishnudut, Panch Fatima B, Panch Munishwar, Panch Narayan, Panch Hariya, and Panch Gungadin. Inspired by Geeta, Mohan tries to rally Melaram and town past Master Nivaran to enroll more kids in school. The scheduled castes are afraid to send their kids to school, and the higher caste won't accept that their kids and scheduled castes study in the same school. Even Vishnudut doesn't send his granddaughters to school. Kaveri is torn whether to stay with Geeta or go with Mohan to US. Slowly love blossoms between Mohan and Geeta. Kaveri can see that Mohan likes Geeta. Kaveri Amma asks Mohan to visit a nearby village named Kodi and collect money from a man named Haridas who owes it to Geeta. The story gives a journey to Mohan, very similar to what happened to Mahatma Gandhi after he came back from South Africa. Mohan visits Kodi and feels pity seeing Haridas's poor condition, which is such that he is unable to provide his family with meals every day. Haridas tells Mohan that since his caste profession of a weaver wasn't earning him any money, he shifted to tenant farming. But this change in profession led to his ostracizing from the village, and the villagers even denied him water for his crops. Mohan understands the pathetic situation and realizes that many villages in India are still like Kodi. He returns to Charampur with a heavy heart and decides to do something for the welfare of Charampur. But slowly the villagers warm up to Mohan and some craftsmen and Vishnudut start sending their kids and girls to school. At Dussehra, Mohan tells the entire village about Haridas's story and says that in India we don't want to solve our problems and hide behind our culture and traditions. Mohan extends his leave by 3 more weeks. He learns that electricity inconsistency and frequent power cuts are a big problem in Charampur. He decides to set up a small hydroelectric power generation facility from a nearby water source. Mohan purchases all the equipment needed from his own funds and oversees the building of the power generation unit. The unit works, and the village gets sufficient, consistent power from it. However, Mohan is repeatedly called by NASA officials as the GPM project he was working on is reaching important stages and he must return to the US soon. Kaveri Amma tells him that she prefers to stay in Sharampur as it will be difficult for her to adapt to a new country at her age. Geeta also tells him that she will not settle down in another country and she would prefer it if Mohan stayed in India with her. Mohan returns to the US with a heavy heart to complete the project. However, in the US, he has flashbacks of his time in India and wishes to return. After the successful completion of his project, he leaves the US and returns to India with intentions of working at the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, from where he can also work with NASA. The film ends showing Mohan staying in the village and wrestling near a temple.